This is my fun rack right here where all the trends are hanging. Hi you guys, welcome back to the B Jones Style channel. I'm Beth Jones and I'm so happy to be bringing you this video. You guys have been asking for this and here it is. It's the fall trends guide on how to thrift and vintage shop for those fall trends that were all over the runway. You know, I am super inspired by the runways. I love to kind of see what's happening, what's going on, and then take that and interpret it through vintage and thrift shopping and maybe do a few investment pieces as well. But today I'm going to be talking about the fall trends, the ones that I'm loving. I'm going to show you just how I've already found some of the trends by shopping in my closet. Also some thrift finds and some vintage finds that are all inspired by the current fall trends. So we're just gonna hop into it. If you want, you can pull out your piece of paper, start writing them down. Just get ready to get inspired for fall and to see what you should start hunting for. The first trend that I'm really excited about is called 80s Western. Two of my favorite things. 80s and Western. I feel like I definitely rock the 80s. I definitely love to rock Western vibes, and let's just combine them. I'm currently rocking one of those trends with my 80s Western shirt. And that's kind of the fun thing, is a lot of 80s trends, there is a Western vibe in some of them if you do find 80s pieces, but also this is the idea of combining those two. So combining 80s, if it's mini skirts and leather or colors, and then taking that inspiration of Western with suede and tassels, going way over the top or keeping it a little bit more denim on denim. The runway shows that I wanted to just mention to you that really inspire this look are, one, ISABEL MARANT. She always kills it with a little bit of a Western vibe. She's always got that kind of boho thing going on, and she did a lot that was inspired by this 80s Western. One look in particular is this all orange leather mini skirt with a leather button down top that has Western look going on. Another runway show that really did this, which is probably my favorite, is Versace. They did the very Versace high-waist black skirt with a plaid Western top, and they of course put that great crazy Versace belt on that I love. And then TIBI did very much TIBI, which is a little bit more simple if you want to kind of approach the 80s trend in a less over-the-top gaudy way like I love to. They did denim on denim, a denim skirt with denim top, but a little bit of an 80s twist to it. So with that in mind, I'm going to show you a few of the pieces that I've found recently that you can be looking for, or just how to approach thrift and vintage shopping with that 80s trend in mind. 80s is all about leather. So this is one look that I've actually had hanging in my closet for a while. This is a black midi length leather skirt. It's high waist. It's got really great lines on it that give a little bit of a Western vibe and not just a basic black leather skirt, but really you could look for any black leather or really any colored leather, which that's so 80s if you think about purple leather or pink leather. But this is a little more classic. This is the black leather skirt, and honestly, this is something you could definitely find in a lot of thrift stores, but of course, look online on Etsy shops and in vintage shops and look for a black leather skirt. This is probably one of my favorite finds ever. I got this years ago. I keep it in my closet. I have this, another leather skirt, midi length, similar to the last one, with incredible suede, this great color. It's got this wrap here with all the fringe, so it's screaming the trend right there. So be on the hunt for those kind of leather or suede high waist midi. You could do mini skirts, maxi skirts, or midi skirts. I'm a big midi skirt girl. I like the way that it works on my body. So depending on your body type, look for one that really works for you. But with this look, I would say pair it with a button down to get that Western look, even if you want to take, especially with this black leather that isn't screaming Western, you could take a Western shirt, even like the one I'm currently wearing, or one that you pick up at a vintage shop and it's got those menswear Western vibes. Throw it on with a leather skirt, an amazing belt. I recently just picked up these pants. These were an incredible find. I got these at 3 Women Co. and they just had their pile sale, but these are Western men's tuxedo pants. Ooh, I just got a really great idea. I feel like this would be incredible if I did this with some really incredible heels and then threw on maybe just a simple tee and then a sequin jacket for that kind of, I don't know, Vegas girl vibe. These would be great with a pair of cowboy boots, even my white Dolce Vita cowboy boots, and then maybe a chunky sweater that, ooh, look for crazy chunky sweaters at thrift stores with like horses on them or some kind of Western kind of motif going on. Back with more leather. These are suede. These are high waist cropped suede pants. And to give it the 80s spin, I love the idea of taking kind of a cropped, very 80s over the top jacket with it, throw it on. I even have that peach colored one. I feel like that could look incredible with this. This is another thing that I just picked up at the vintage pile sale. This is, of course, that very Western. It actually has the prairie look as well. I love the idea of pairing this with high waist pair of Levi's. I even have my high waist acid wash Lee jeans, giving it that very 80s cool look. Throwing on some really gold gaudy earrings with this to give this a more glammed up spin. The next trend is animal prints. Animal prints were everywhere on the runway, and this is not just leopard. I feel like there's been times where it's just leopard and that's kind of become like a classic print that you throw on with everything. This one is so fun because it's all animal prints and I love it. It's tiger print, zebra print, of course leopard print, any animal print that you can find, and even head to toe animal print. A few of the runway shows that were doing this that I loved was one was Givenchy. They did this incredible black and white tiger print. I think it's tiger. They did a black and white sweater with the animal print, oversized kind of turtleneck with a black skirt and these very statement black and white heels. So that is really yummy. A very chic version of this trend was worn on Victoria Beckham. It was an incredible trench coat in a leopard print. And I love just that really statement look of the leopard print trench coat. Someone who did the all over animal print was Rebecca Taylor. She added a little bit of that kind of girly romantic vibe that she always does, but she just did leopard on leopard on leopard. I'm going to show you a few of my pieces that I have that I'm going to be using this season for that animal print trend. Here are two pieces I've had for a while and I'm thankful I have them because they are such great staples always, but now with this animal print trend, I will be wearing them probably even more. I have two animal print turtlenecks. I love turtlenecks because I feel like you can do so much layering with them. So if you're throwing a dress over them, a coat over them, throwing another shirt over them, a sweater, it's just the perfect layering piece, or on its own with something high waist. Ooh, an animal print spaghetti like slip dress over a turtleneck, and then if I could find an animal print jacket, that would be so good. And something I love about animal print is that is so easy to find in a thrift store because you could just walk the aisles and look for the print. You don't have to do all the hunting. You really can just scan and look for the print. And this, you guys may remember, I found when I was with Karen in New York, and I'm so glad I did. It is this crazy, amazing silk blouse with an amazing leopard print to it. I have a leopard print belt, so I love the idea of throwing the leopard print belt over it. The best thing that I found this summer was what I'm about to show you, and I'm so glad because it's right there at the animal print trend. It's a vintage Saks Fifth Avenue bathrobe. But the best thing about this is it has shoulder pads in it, so I feel like it adds a little level of glamour and works if you wear it in the day or the night. The next trend is another one I love, plaid. Plaid is always happening in the fall on some level. This year it is all about lots of plaid, lots of combining plaid, putting plaids together, more loud plaids, red plaids, just plaid. One of my favorite runway shows for the fall with the plaid trend was EMILIA WICKSTEAD. She did this red plaid skirt suit with another plaid shirt under it, and it just speaks to my soul. I love it so much. So if I could find a plaid skirt suit, putting it out there in the universe. Michael Kors did a look with plaid that reminded me a lot of 90s plaid that I wore in the middle school days. It also has a little bit of that throwback to Cher from Clueless in a much more modern and fresh way now. He piled every fall staple, made it plaid, but different colors, and it was amazing. Michael, I love you. Thank you. A very cool street style relaxed version of this trend was on Stella McCartney's runway, and she did a very oversized men's plaid coat. She threw it over these gray slouchy trousers. It looks like a little bit of a sneaker and just a gray button down underneath. So I love that idea of taking kind of oversized and slouchy and then throwing just a big plaid statement over it. A few plaid pieces that I've been picking up recently. I found two plaid skirts, which I think you guys have seen me wear both, but I found this just great. I love the shade of this plum plaid mini skirt, this red plaid fringe wrap skirt. You could get a little crazy and do it with more plaid, finding a plaid button down to throw it on with, or a plaid sweater. Ooh, I love that idea, to take a big oversized, okay, this you can for sure find. Look on the racks of your thrift store, look for a big oversized, even in the men's department, plaid sweater. You throw it on with a plaid mini skirt, and then maybe combat boots, Doc Martens, Vans. So cute. This was a Crossroad find and I'm so excited. It's the Burberry plaid little button down schoolgirl type shirt. I kind of like the idea of taking this shirt and wearing it even with a high waist pair of athletic pants, maybe track pants. One thing I can pretty much guarantee in a large thrift store you can find plaid blazer. You can find one. Find a plaid blazer. Next trend is something I'm really loving. I feel like plaid always comes back around and animal print's always a thing for fall, but this one is not always circling around, and that is this Heartland trend. It's bringing back the quilting and the crochet and the patchwork, and I imagine women in fields during the pioneer days, quilts on their beds, Little House on the Prairie. My favorite interpretation of this is ISABEL MARANT. She did this dreamy shearling coat with big quilting designs on it with over the knee boots. And I just had a genius idea. What if you found an oversized coat like that and then you found a quilt and you cut out shapes of the quilt and then sewed it on the coat? Or really just taking a quilt and sewing it on anything, a denim jacket, on jeans. I've seen it on jeans. Oh my gosh, that would be so fun. Okay, I am adding quilt to my list and the thing that the quilt will be sewn to. MISSONI, who is known for their prints, did a really amazing interpretation of the Heartland trend. Patched coat and this colorful scarf, and it's really just so many things happening on it. And ETRO did a dress that reminds me a lot of those blankets that you would find in a lot of homes back in, I don't know, the 90s or early 2000s, but you know, all in colorful print with some fringe on it, Afghan inspired. It feels a little crafty and cozy, and I just want to wear it a lot this fall. And I want to show you a few of the things that I found in that Heartland trend. The best representation of this, and I'm so glad I picked it up, is this quilt maxi skirt. I've been wearing this for summer, but I love the idea of wearing this for fall. Kind of thinking a tight ribbed turtleneck with this would be amazing. This is a vintage find that I've had for a while, and you guys have probably seen me wear this in multiple ways, but this is that Afghan vintage vest crop top. Well, I love the idea of wearing this with maybe even some wide leg corduroy pants that I have, or just throw it on with some jeans. And here's another crochet piece that's perfect for this Heartland trend. And it would be really fun to combine this with the plaid trend and wear this with some wide leg plaid pants. And then the last trend is all about florals, garden prints. They're coming in for fall. A great example of that was this all over floral dress from Dolce & Gabbana, just covered in flowers. I loved the styling on this. The girl wore her hair split in the middle with two barrettes right here. So just even paying attention to those little details on how they style things really can give you ideas for even more looks. Christian Dior did an amazing floral dress, but I love that they gave it a 60s rock and roll twist with wide black belt, the biker hat, and then kind of pink shade. So it had this kind of 60s rock and roll London look mixed with this romantic floral dress. So it toughened it up and it gave it a really great look. GIAM BATTISAVALLI did a kind of a 70s floral dreamy dress. Threw it on with a little bag, over the shoulder bag. And then a cool 80s look of this trend was Saint Laurent did a floral, very 80s mini dress that I feel like you could very easily find an 80s dress. Rock this trend. This is a trend I feel like I need to build a little bit more, but a few pieces that I feel like could work that I currently have in my closet. This maxi long sleeve floral dress that this is probably the hero piece of the things that I have in my closet that could go with this trend. But this is a great garden print for fall, and I kind of like the idea of giving this that spin that Christian Dior did, even pairing a really wide belt with this and throwing on a biker hat and some fun shades that have like an orange or a yellow tone to them. Piece that I recently picked up that is just a tease of this trend is this 90s floral shirt with these really fun little sleeves on them. I may have already talked about this shirt, I'm not sure, but this is one of my favorite vintage finds. I've had it forever. It's just so good. It has these crazy collar, crazy sleeves. It's covered in flowers and covered in color. It's just so much fun there. So definitely would be wearing this for that garden party trend. So much fun. I love fall. I love all the trends of fall. I don't know, I think it's that we get to layer up pieces and it makes you a little more creative. You don't have to just think about it's so hot, I can't wear that. With fall comes all of these reasons to get dressed up because there's parties and then we have holidays and something's really romantic about the fall as well. Maybe it's the fires and the cozy and the coffee and all of it, but I love fall. And what's so great about all of these trends is that I feel like you can take pieces from each trend and combine them and make them work. Even just like what I'm wearing today, I'm definitely wearing the kind of 80s Western vibe, but then I threw it on with high waist plaid pants. So I took the two trends of plaid and 80s Western and combined them. And I feel like that's even what makes some of your looks really stand out and make them even more fun and playful, is when you're taking a trend and you're combining. Having a plan like this and a little bit of a guide going into each season to me makes thrifting and vintage shopping so much more accessible and so much less overwhelming, because if you kind of have an idea of the trends, you could even take one trend. You could say, today I'm going to look for 80s Western in the thrift store, and then you just look for 80s Western. You look for the pieces if you're looking for a high-waist leather skirt or high-waist suede pants or like a sequin jacket from the 80s that you could pair and create that kind of Vegas girl vibe. I give you that challenge. Why don't you just take one trend, go to the thrift store or go to the vintage store and see if you can find, if you're in the thrift store, I challenge you to find at least 3 pieces of the trend. If you're in a vintage shop, maybe 1 to 2 pieces, because you never know. Or you could just go crazy and you could have your whole list of all these trends, all the suggestions, the different runway shows that you're inspired by, and then just search the store for all of them. Then even categorize them and say, like, this is 80s Western, this is my plaid, this is my animal print. Throw them all into your closet, start mixing and playing and having fun. You know what I would love for you to do is take your phone into the thrift store, into the vintage shop, into the flea market, do Insta stories and let me know, tag me in your Insta stories of either the trend that you're looking for that day and the things you found, or an outfit that you put on that's channeling one of these trends. I would love, love, love to see all of them. And what I would love to do then is to put them up on my Insta story so that everybody else can see how you guys are all wearing these trends and what you're finding. Ah, that would be so much fun. Hopefully this video is helpful for you. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I have new videos every Thursday. With all of this, I'm feeling excited for fall, and I just want to say, always play dress up, and I'll see you guys later.
Don't ever find a dance, just like